Now at 10, women from around the 4 states wrapped up the 17th annual MOUSBC Women's Bowling Tournament today in Joplin. Plus, local Little Leaguers gathered to learn baseball from area coaches. And Joplin community members organized to protest state legislation.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Cale Chapman. Members of the Joplin community gathered today to protest proposed legislation and show support for each other. KOAM's Carrie Worthen was there and has more on this story.
So we're basically here to show our community that these people exist and they're members of our community, and we're here to stand for them.
Members of the Joplin community are protesting against anti-LGBTQ policies that legislative are trying to put in place.
Honestly, the people that drive by, that see us, I just want them to know that we are part of the community and we aren't going away. So, you know, you're either with us or you're against us.
One rally member says the easiest thing to do is love.
I'm a trans man, and you know, it's disheartening whenever people argue with somebody's right to exist, whenever people argue over who we love, you know, and it shouldn't be an issue, because to me the easiest thing to do is love somebody else.
So we're going to be sending a letter to our representatives in the Missouri State Congress to kind of show them that there are members here in this community that want to take a stand against these anti-LGBTQ laws that they've introduced, and just to kind of show the community that, like, you know, we're here and there's nothing wrong with people like this.
And I guess that's why I'm here, because I deserve to exist. I deserve to be who I am. People deserve to express how they want to express, as long as it's appropriate. And I don't see anybody being inappropriate, you know.
Just know that they have a community here in this area that they can turn to and they can rely on, and they have a safe space with us.
In Joplin, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
Organizers created a barcode for participants to scan and electronically sign their letter with. Today at Carl Richards 4th Street Bowl, women from around the 4 states competed in the 17th annual MOUSBC Women's Tournament. Nearly 300 teams competed in this year's tournament. 4th Street Bowl also hosted the doubles and singles competitions for this year's tournament.
I like to think of this tournament, because we don't have a lot of really high average bowlers that bowl in it, as a place to come for a weekend and just have a good time.
Today was the final day of tournament play. Earlier today, the J.L. Hutchinson Baseball League hosted their Baseball Skills Day for local kids at Pittsburgh Middle School. Little leaguers that attended the Skills Day learned baseball fundamentals from the coaching staff. The league aims to develop baseball skill as well as sportsmanship, competitiveness, and fair play.
They all come back and want to play next year. The best thing that I can hear out in our community is when people see me or some of the other coaches is when they say, you know, little Jimmy had so much fun last year, he cannot wait to play baseball the next year. And that's what we try to do with all of our coaches, and we try to get that into all of the kids, that they're just having so much fun.
Opening day for the league will be on April 29th. Coffee and paint lovers gathered today at Root Coffee House. Creative Canvas hosted a paint and sip event there. The event gave artists the opportunity to paint in the aroma of coffee with a cozy atmosphere. The local artists were provided with supplies and step-by-step instructions with an experienced painter.
Take where they currently are and hopefully teach them something new. It lets people come out into the community and local businesses to support the local business at the same time as painting. I think the last couple years we've been pretty nervous and staying in on our own, so that's just a really nice way for people to be able to come together and hang out for a little while and get their creative juices flowing.
The event was $30 per painter and lasted 3 hours. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now for a first look at the weather.
And boy, it was beautiful weather today. We were only a couple of degrees away from the record high, and those are the kind of records we like setting this time of year. You can see on radar right now, moisture is starting to increase in the atmosphere, and that's because we have a storm system that's down to our south in northern Texas, producing lots of tornado warnings and severe weather down that way. You can see a little bit of a vortex right there in southeastern Oklahoma. That's rapidly moving away, but as we look back towards the west, we have another piece of energy that's moving towards us, and that's going to have implications in our forecast. Taking a look down the lane, we have storms possible tomorrow, isolated at best. An alert day is possible for Tuesday, cooler Wednesday, and a terrific Thursday, and I'll have all the details on that coming up in just a little bit.
Thank you, Sam. More than 24 deaths are now blamed on the severe storms that began Friday and have spread across the country. Last night, the system moved into the northeast, causing tornado warnings and severe thunderstorms. CBS's Bradley Blackburn reports now.
The damage is spread across so much of the country, from Tennessee,
the whole house, you could feel it shaking,
to Wisconsin, to Pennsylvania, as the severe system moved east Saturday.
Oh my goodness.
In Bridgeville, Delaware, a tornado touchdown took out trees and homes and was blamed for one death. In Ohio, a 13-year-old girl died after a tree fell on her home. Officials said she was trapped inside. In Sullivan, Indiana, at least 3 people killed Friday and 200 buildings heavily damaged. And from Belvedere, Illinois, more video shows the terrifying moments inside the Apollo Theater after the roof collapsed during a concert. Rescuers tried to pull people out of the rubble. 90-mile-per-hour winds ripped the building apart. Dozens were hospitalized and 1 man killed.
Oh my God.
In Arkansas, twisters touching down in Little Rock and in the town of Wynne, where there were at least 4 deaths.
The back of the house.
Jane Smith's home was heavily damaged while she took shelter in her basement.
You had no idea it was doing this much damage out here. It was so fast.
Little Rock resident Cody Coombs survived a close call, sitting in his truck when the winds intensified and a tornado approached.
Yeah, 100% did think I was going to die.
His dash cam captured debris flying in the air, trees toppling, but his truck was spared.
I got a little crack in my windshield. I'm very lucky.
Arkansas's governor has declared a state of emergency and activated the National Guard as the recovery continues. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
The storms are also blamed for widespread power outages in more than a dozen states. Coming up, we've got the latest on former President Trump's indictment. All the newest details coming up next. Plus, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker visits the collapsed Belvedere Theater. 3 people were killed and 3 others were injured after a shooting at a southwest Oklahoma City bar, police confirmed. Oklahoma City police said 3 people were killed on the scene off Newcastle Road. Another victim was transported to a hospital in critical condition. 2 others were taken in with non-life-threatening injuries. After originally reporting a person in custody, Oklahoma City police now say that no one is in custody and authorities are searching for a suspect.
When they arrived here, they found 3 victims inside the bar that were shot. Those 3 victims were pronounced dead here at the scene. Another victim was transported to a hospital in critical condition, and 2 others were transported to a local hospital with non-life-threatening wounds.
Police say they have no suspect information at this time. A source tells CBS News the charges against former President Donald Trump include at least 1 felony in the first degree for alleged business records. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez has more from Miami.
Former President Trump left his Florida golf course Sunday while supporters rallied ahead of his trip to New York, where he will face criminal charges. 2 law enforcement sources tell CBS News that Trump is likely to fly into LaGuardia Airport Monday on his private aircraft. The next day, he is expected to appear for an arraignment in Lower Manhattan after a grand jury indicted the former president last week. The historic indictment is expected to be unsealed and read in court, where he will be asked to enter a plea.
We will very loudly and proudly say not guilty.
Trump's attorney, Joe Tacopina, says he anticipates making a motion to dismiss the case.
Somehow, a state prosecutor has taken a misdemeanor and tried cobbled together to make it a felony by alleging a violation of federal campaign violations.
The case centers around alleged hush money paid in 2016 to adult film star Stormy Daniels to buy her silence over an affair she claimed to have had with Trump. On Sunday, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson announced he will also seek the Republican nomination. Hutchinson said Trump should drop out now that he's been indicted.
For the sake of the office of the presidency, I do think that's too much of a sideshow and distraction.
On Tuesday night, the former president plans to make public remarks from his Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida. Cristian Benavides, CBS News.
In his initial statement responding to last week's news of his indictment, the former president called it, quote, political persecution and election interference at the highest level in history. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker visited the site of the collapsed Apollo Theater in Belvidere, Illinois today. He was joined by Belvidere Mayor Clint Morris and other community leaders. Pritzker confirmed that 48 people were hospitalized, 5 of whom are in critical condition, and 1 adult man is dead after the roof collapsed on the Apollo Theater. The latest train derailment happened this morning. It happened across the river from a resort in Montana, which evacuated some guests staying in cabins as a precaution.
I'm here in Paradise near a train derailment close to Quinn's Hot Springs. As you can see behind me, several cars have tipped over into the river. There was 1 car with propane, but MRL ensures that there's no danger to the public or MRL employees. The MRL train derailed around 9 a.m. Sunday morning. MRL does not currently know why the derailment occurred, but MRL Director of Communications Andy Garland ensured no one was injured. Still, cabins at the Quinn's Resort were evacuated. Cases of beer fell out of 1 car and cars did derail in the tunnel, but Garland says no hazardous material was released.
I can confirm that at roughly 9 a.m. this morning, we had a portion of a train derail near Paradise. No injuries, no public risk, no hazmat release. We've got MRL and first responders on site. We're committed to addressing any impacts to the area while keeping the safety of our employees and the public at top of mind, and it's under further investigation. We'll continue to have boots on the ground out here again, trying to get to the cause and obviously get things mitigated and cleaned up as swiftly as we can.
A little later, Brock breaks down this weekend's Cardinals action in sports.
And we're tracking the threat of severe weather for our area on Tuesday. I'll have the complete forecast when we come back. Well, we have had a really nice weekend to start off April with temperatures close to record levels today, and we're seeing mostly fair skies this evening. Let's take a look back over the last few hours. You can see at Seneca, Missouri this morning, the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. We had quite a bit of cloudiness yesterday in the afternoon and evening hours, but as we went through the day today, you can see mostly fair skies, hardly a cloud, and then the clouds started rolling in the afternoon, then a little bit of a break towards evening, and then more clouds started to roll in from the south and west as we headed through the evening hours. Allergies have been very high yesterday and today, and they're going to be again tomorrow, 11.5 on a scale of 12, so the sniffles are definitely going to be a factor for everyone tomorrow. Radar is clear right now. We're starting to pick up more moisture in the air, and so a lot of this is ground clutter, but that just kind of goes to show you what's headed in our direction as far as the moisture. You can see quite a bit of rain across western Arkansas right now. This is all part of an upper-level storm that's moving across that region, generating some severe weather in northern Texas this afternoon, but not in our area. We're looking at temperatures in the 60s and 70s right now, but notice the winds are coming up out of the south, and that's going to be bringing up the moisture, and that moisture is going to be meeting up with several storm systems, and that's why we're thinking about the threat of severe weather on Tuesday. There's all kinds of threats: tornado, large hail, high wind, and heavy rain. All of them are low right now. We're going to continue to monitor this very closely. There is likely going to be some severe weather. The question is where exactly it's going to occur. And right now, the best chance is up to the north in northern Missouri and also to the south and east. But anywhere in our area on Tuesday has the chance of seeing some severe weather. And so here's a look at the storm dynamics. Tomorrow, there will be a dry line off towards the west. That will start to move to the east, and we could get 1 or 2 isolated severe storms in our area tomorrow, but the chances are very low. Then the dry line retreats, and then it finally comes out in force on Tuesday evening. And with winds out of the south at the surface, and then dry air coming in from the west, that spells trouble, because then you throw the upper level winds on here, and you get a turning with the winds as you go up through the atmosphere. So you get this turning, and so any thunderstorm that forms in this environment has the potential to rotate. So that's why we're concerned with the threat of severe weather. Rainfall amounts are going to be on the light side as we go through Tuesday, but then Tuesday night into Wednesday, that's when the chances really start to go up as far as rainfall. Temperatures tomorrow morning are going to be in the mid-50s, and then tomorrow we might see an isolated storm or two, temperatures in the upper 70s to lower 80s, and then as we go through Monday night into Tuesday morning, mostly cloudy skies with warm and muggy conditions, lows in the 60s, and then Tuesday afternoon, again, isolated storms, and any storm that develops could be severe with highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s. And then Tuesday night, notice a squall line develops to the north and west, rolls across our area, and by Wednesday morning it's all gone with lows in the 30s and 40s. Over the next 7 days, here's that chance of showers. Tomorrow, 1 or 2 isolated storms possible, but the better chance is going to be Tuesday afternoon, and it's very important for people to download the app. Stay tuned and stay advised on Tuesday, because that could be an alert day with severe weather, and then it turns nice after that, including all the way to Resurrection Sunday with a high of 66. So not too bad.
Yeah, that KOAM Skywatch weather app, definitely going to come.
It's like having the storm team right in your pocket.
Heck yeah, all righty. Well, thank you, Sam. Still ahead, both Pitt State and MSSU swing the bats this weekend. Brock will have those highlights next. And the St. Louis Cardinals had a big day. We'll go all over the details on sports.
Well, the Pitt State Gorillas have been red hot this season, but they've been struggling this past week. They had a chance to bounce back in their series finale against Central Oklahoma. Earlier this afternoon, Pitt State did just that. The Gorillas win the series over the Broncos by winning today's game 9-5. Cade Clemens was in the spotlight by going 2 for 4. Both of his hits were home runs. He also had 4 RBIs in this game. Gorillas currently sit in 3rd place in the MIAA standings after their win today. Pitt State will be on the road once again next week for some non-conference action when they face Drury this Tuesday. And the Missouri Southern Lions have been on an 8-game winning streak, but today that streak has snapped. After winning the first 2 games of the series, they failed to win their series finale against Fort Hays State, losing today's game 7-4. However, Tyler Ferguson had a nice day, going 3 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs. The Lions will be in Kansas City this Tuesday at a neutral site where they'll take on Missouri Western, the MLB Youth Urban Academy. Well, the St. Louis Cardinals won their first game of the season yesterday against the Toronto Blue Jays. The opening weekend series between these two teams has been very high scoring and entertaining. That was the case again today in the series finale. Beautiful Sunday afternoon at Busch Stadium. First pitch in the first inning. Brendan Donovan said, "Let's not waste any time. We're getting the party started." Leadoff homer into the bullpen. 1-0 Redbirds. Next at bat, Alec Burleson says, "It's my turn." Just barely clears the wall out there in left field, but still counts. Make it 2-0 St. Louis. Later in the inning, same score. Nolan Gorman at the plate, and folks, that's what happens when you hang breaking balls. Ends up 15 rows deep, as we see just there. It's now 4-0 Cardinals in the first inning. Third inning now, St. Louis up 5-3. Nolan Gorman says he wants to take Chris Bassett deep a second time. The second home run of the game, that's a 2-run bomb. Cardinals take care of business, winning 9-4. St. Louis wins the series over Toronto. Let's take a look in Kansas City as the Royals are trying to avoid the sweep. First inning, 1-0 Twins. Edward Olivares crushes that ball. First run of the year for the Royals in their 2023 season, game tied at 1. Sixth inning, Twins up 2-1. Joey Gallo usually has trouble beating the shift, but that's one way to beat it. That ball's long gone. 3-1 Twins. Seventh inning now, same score. Gallo again for his second home run. And that's headed to Souvenir City. 3-run Jack makes it 6-1 Twins. Eighth inning, 6-3 Larnick drives it off Jose Cuas. Carlos Correa will score easily. Twins win 7-4, complete the sweep of the Royals. The NCAA tournament is wrapping up after a great Final Four weekend. Tomorrow, the championship game between San Diego State and UConn. just like we all predicted. San Diego State's looking for their first national championship game win ever, while UConn, the Huskies, are trying to look for their third national championship with their third different head coach. It's the first time ever a championship game between a 4 and a 5 seed. Both coaches are looking forward to this opportunity.
We're just proud to be moving on, representing San Diego State University in the city of San Diego in the championship game on Monday night. We're looking forward to it.
At this point, so I think it's exciting to share the court with a team that we mirror each other, I think, in a lot of ways.
Well, the Missouri Southern Lions still holding on to first place in the MIAA. Pitt State still tracking back, so expect both teams to finish well to end the season.
Well, good. Yeah, I mean, that's exciting. We always love to watch that MIAA down here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you, Brock. We'll be right back after this. It was blazing guns against magic spells at the weekend box office. Who was victorious? Well, David Daniel will tell us. He's got the early estimates for the top 5 films in theaters.
Because this is a war. Creed 3 is closing in on $150 million in domestic box office. The boxing pick made $5 million for 5th place. His Only Son, a Bible movie from the studio behind The Chosen, made $5.3 million in its opening weekend. Scream 6 also earned $5.3 million, tying for 3rd place.
You come here thinking there is a way out of this world for you, Mr. Wick.
John Wick Chapter 4 slipped more than 60% in its sophomore weekend, but still took in $28.2 million for a 10-day total of $123 million.
On your knees.
Okay, chop it off.
Chop it off, let's do it. Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves debuted on top, with solid reviews and an opening weekend haul of $38.5 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, that's pretty good. Not a bad weekend.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And we've had a nice weekend, weather-wise, but that's going to be changing as we go through the next 48 hours, especially on Tuesday. It's very important for people to be paying attention to the weather situation on Tuesday, but nice after that all the way to Easter.
Oh, yeah, not too bad. One
Not too
little
bad.
rough patch, but once we get through there.
You can get over it.
Yes, yeah, sure can. All righty, well, that's our time for now. Thanks for making us a part of your night.